Clsk production.
What's up, guys? We're gonna break down Cleanspark here. So first thing I want to highlight, we're gonna zoom out to 2020 up until now, right? So this is around March 2020, and what I want to highlight back then here, we're gonna take a look here. Look at the volume coming in, extremely large volume, way larger than the average, and that happens several times here, and what this is large accumulation volume. Okay, so this is big money coming into the stock, and they're essentially, when that happens, it's a sign, a potential sign that big money is preparing for a potential run. Okay, so again, we don't know who these big money players are. It could be institutions, corporations, asset managers, big whales, just millionaire traders. What they sometimes are more privy to some information, right? It could be insider analysts, right? It could be, who knows, I'm just making shit up now, but the gist of what I'm trying to say is that there's people in the industry who likely get word before retail, and they're the ones who are going to be able to get in at the best prices, unless you, of course, study the charts like a hawk, like I'm doing on a constant basis. So as you can see, this happens, and then when we zoom closer into 2020 and we look, they set up a large base in the stock, right? So if we just even mark out some of these zones, we could easily mark out this zone right here, right? This price level gets hit during one of these large volume weeks. So it creates a floor, and it creates a base for us to launch off of several weeks later, right? So all of August 2020, September, October 2020, November, and then things start to blast off going into 21, and things get real exponentially. Things move quick in the crypto space. Okay, it's a crypto related stock, right? So if you caught in from the lows here, this is all over 2,000% move, right? If we're going 3,000% move, right? But what I'm trying to highlight here is this big money coming in. Okay, now let's delete that, and we're going to zoom over closer to 2023, right? And this is some of the largest volume that's ever coming into the stock. And essentially what's happening here is, the way I like to look at it, a different version of this. It's not going to look the exact same, but what I do want to point out is this base that's going on here. If we start to look, the increase in volume starts to happen back in the very beginning of this year. Slowly, big money is starting to allocate their money into this asset, changing the characteristics of the stock, right? So as you can see, we're leading up until now. This is massive volume coming in. What do you think they're preparing for? We have the Bitcoin ETF approvals that are potentially going to come. Okay, the Bitcoin halving is about to come. These are two major catalysts in the space that could potentially bring in massive influx of institutional demand into stocks like Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Hive, Hut, Mara, Riot, Galaxy Digital Holdings. All these stocks have the potential for a lot of money coming into this space. So how can we play this, and how can we analyze this before the big money comes in, right? So some people might be thinking, oh, it's too late. Let's look at this trend here and break this down. So what we have is this large bottoming pattern here, and you could just mark it out as some sort of base or a launch pad, right? There's going to be a clear resistance at some point, and where is that resistance? Well, we could just look back and see where's the most confluence. So as you can see, this is a major zone in the stocks chart. And why I say it's a major zone is because in 2020 it acted as support. Back in 2021 or 2022, sorry, it acted as a major support here as well. Got a large bounce. And then from May 22 onward, this zone, this $7 to $8 zone, has acted as a resistance. So as you can see, we try to break up over, can't do it, try to break up over, can't do it, and stayed in this range, creating this big booty bottoming pattern. Okay. This is why I really like the looks of Cleanspark, because we've spent over a year from May 2022 up until now in this range. So this is where big money is essentially accumulating all their shares in preparation for a larger move to the upside. So what happens when a zone gets flipped, right? It acted as support over here, back in 22 acted as support, flips into resistance. After we spent a year in this zone, right? We try to break out over it, we can't. We finally get this massive breakout matched with large volume. What we need to pay attention to is this now going to act as support, right? Flips once more, is it going to act as support? Now, look at this volume coming in again. It's only Monday, so we still have the rest of the week to see what the volume is going to look like. But let's have a scenario and imagine that this comes down a little bit and we start to base in this range, something like this. Maybe we break below before we get this pop, right? This is what we want to look for. And if a healthy consolidation prints out like this, I think it's a great opportunity to buy the dip on Cleanspark before things get extremely parabolic. Again, look what happened here. Several weeks of consolidation. This could be several weeks of consolidation. Or it could be a fast move, like a bull flag pattern, leading us into a support before we get that blast off. So these are my eyes on Cleanspark. I'm leaning more bullish onto the crypto space right now. So I apologize if you're looking for a bearish outlook. Right now I'm pretty optimistic in the space, and I don't really think it's the time to be bearish. So these are my eyes, the Sharingan eyes on Cleanspark. The next move we will be looking for as a resistance point is right here in this $13 to $16 zone, or we could be a little bit more generous, this $13 to $14 zone. We can say that. So that's what I'll be looking for after this consolidation, is a breakout to the upside there, and that alone could be a potential double move depending on how far we move back into that zone. So things are exciting here on Cleanspark.